Hello guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to go over the implementation of AnyConnect via SSLVPN on a Cisco router, and this is for the CCNP security SAM for the SIMOS or the SIMOS or CMOS, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, we are going to go over section 1.2, secure communications, and we are going to implement AnyConnect SSL VPN on a Cisco router. And let's go ahead and see my topology on GNS3. So here my topology. What's happening is right now I have a Windows device right here. I'm able to ping on this server right here, which has this IP address, but I'm unable to ping this computer right here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to um, have a VPN connection to this router, and then it's going to allow me to ping this computer over here, or it should allow me to. So let's go ahead and start with this configuration. I'm going to, and also I have configured everything. So I'm able to ping and have all those IP addresses in here. So let's go ahead and start with that configuration. All the configuration is going to be on this MD server. MD's instead, MD means Maryland and NY New York. So let's go ahead and start with this. So the first thing that you need to have is if you do a show, let's do a show flash. You need to have AnyConnect in your Cisco iOS router, because if you do not have it, this is not going to work. And I'm going to show you where mine is. Mine is called AnyConnect Windows 4.5 blah 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 web deployment.pkg. So you need to import that into your router, otherwise it's not going to work. So let's go ahead and start with this configuration. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to install the AnyConnect. So if we do a crypto VPN AnyConnect, and we need to install it from this location where it is located, flash. Let's go ahead and copy it, paste it. Um, so let's go ahead and actually do a sequence one. Please try after removing the old package. So I need to remove the old package. So let's see if we do a no, and then do it again. Okay, let's see if I do a crypto. Well, I have it installed already. Let's see if you do a crypto AnyConnect or crypto VPN. Yeah. So that's the command that you need to run. Let me show you right now. I have it installed. That's why it is giving me that error. So you need to run the crypto VPN AnyConnect flash, and then you need to go inside of that AnyConnect file, and then do a sequence one. Okay, so that's how you do it. And then after that is done, let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so we can see all my commands. There we go. Maybe if we make let's go ahead and I just want to zoom in a little bit. It's gonna let me zoom in. View, da da da. Okay, it's not gonna let me zoom in. I thought you could zoom in, but you should be able to see all my commands. Then after that, we need to do an IP HTTP server, and we need to turn on the HTTP server, and we also need to turn on the HTTPS server by doing secure server. Done. There we go. After that is done, what we need to do is we need to generate an Rsa Key Pair. And the way that you do that is we need to do first a crypto key generate, and we're going to generate a RSA, and we're going to label this SSL VPN underscore key pair, everything just like that. And the modulus is going to be 2048. There we go. That is done. After that, you want to do a show Well, actually, let's do a do show crypto, uh, crypto key, my pub key, SSL VPN underscore key pair. Let's see, do show crypto key, my pub key RSA. I forgot to put the RSA. There we go. And you can see the crypto key that is that we generated. Okay, that's good. After that, we need to do a trust point. And so you do a crypto PKI trust point, and this is going to be SSL. We're going to call this trust point SSL uh, VPN underscore search for certification. And in here, we need to do an enrollment, and the enrollment is going to be a self-sign key, a self-sign. And if you want to do a subject name, you can do a subject name CN for the name, and let's just call this FDNA. Would you want to call it whatever you want? So if you do SSL VPN.ccdtt.com, you can go ahead and do that. That's what I want to name it. And then RSA key pair. I want to use the key pair that I created, which is this one right here. So we need to attach it to the trust point. There we go. So that's done. So after the trust point has been correctly defined, the router must generate the certificate by using the, so we need to generate a, or enroll the crypto PKI. So if you do an exit and you do a crypto PKI enroll, and we want to enroll the SSN VPN certificate, there we go. And what you want to do right here, do you want to continue generating a new self-signed certificate? We're saying yes. Do you want to include a serial number? We say no. And then the IP address, you say no too. And then after that, it's going to ask you if you want to generate the self-sign. You say yes. There we go. So that is done. So after that is done, if you want to see the self-sign certificate, you can do show crypto, do show crypto PKI certificates, certificates, SSL VPN underscore search. And there it is. It was created, so we are good. So after that is done, we need to go ahead and turn on AAA for, because we need to go ahead and create an authorization, an authentication login, and we are going to be using SSL VPN, right? SSL VPN underscore AAA, and we're going to use a local account. And now, since we're going to be using the local account, you need to go ahead and create a username and password. We're going to be called the username. It's going to be, let's just call VPN user, and the password is going to be called just Cisco, all in capital. Just remember that. Then after that is done, we need to define the pool, the address pool, and also the split tunnel access list to be used by the clients. So let's go ahead and do the IP local pool, and we're going to be calling this SSL VPN underscore pool, and we're going to say that whenever somebody connects to um, this VPN, we are going to provide it with an IP address in this range. Okay, and then we need to go ahead and create an access list. One, we are going to permit access to 192.168.1.0, which is my inside network. That's what I want to permit access to. And then we're going to say 255. Okay, so that is good. After that is done, we need to go ahead and configure a virtual template interface And what those virtual template interface does, it provides an on-demand separate virtual access interface for each VPN session that allows like highly secure and scalable connectivity for remote access VPNs. So let's go ahead and do that. First, you need to go ahead and configure a loopback address, loopback 0, IP address, let's say 10.10.10.10. And then after that is done, then we can go ahead and configure my virtual interface or the virtual template 1. And we need to do an IP on number because we're going to be using the IP address of that loopback address. And it is on number loopback 0. And after that is done, you can do show IP interface brief, and you can see that my virtual template has an IP address of 10.10.10.10 because it is using the same IP address as a loopback because we did that IP on number loopback 0. Okay, let's go ahead and exit. So after that is configured, we need to configure the web VPN gateway, and the web VPN gateway is what defines the IP address and ports, which will be used by the AnyConnect, and as well as the SSL encryption algorithm and PKI certificate, which will be presented to the clients. And by default, the gateway will support all possible encryption algorithms, which vary depending on the iOS version of the router. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to say a web VPN gateway SSL VPN underscore gateway. Done. And inside here, we need to configure um, the IP address that we're going to be using for this tunnel, and it's going to be 20.1.1.1. This one right here. So let's go ahead and put it right here, 20.1.1.1. And the port number is going to be 443 because we are going to be using HTTPS. And then we do an HTTP redirect port 80. So if somebody connects to HTTP, it's going to send you back to 443. Done. And then we need to do the SSL trust point. And the trust point is going to be SSL VPN. And we need to add that certificate that we created that we call cert, right? Let's go ahead and verify that. Yep, SSL VPN cert, SSL VPN cert. Okay, and then we need to go ahead and turn it on, and we say in service, and that turns it on. So after that is done, we need to go ahead and configure the web VPN context. And in the web VPN context, we are going to be adding a lot of stuff, and I'm going to tell you what each one of them does. So we need to go into web VPN context, SSL. This is what we're going to call it, context. Um, enter. So inside here, the first thing that we need to do, we need to add that gateway that we created, which we call SSL VPN gateway. Done. After that is done, we need to go ahead and add that virtual interface that we created. Done. And after that is done, we need to go ahead and turn it on. Say in service. And then we need to go ahead and create a policy. And the policy group, they're going to be calling this SSL policy. And inside this policy, the first thing that we need to do actually, let's go ahead and do exit. And before we do that, we need to add the authentication list. And we call that authentication list, if you remember from AAA, was SSL VPN underscore AAA. Okay, and then we can go ahead to the policy group SSL VPN. And the first command that we need to do is we need to do functions SVC enable, and we need to enable SVC. And SVC enable command is a piece of configuration which allows user to connect with the AnyConnect SSL VPN client rather than just using the web VPN through a browser. All right. So after that is done, we need to do a SVC address pool, and we need to go ahead and enter that address pool that we configured earlier, which we call SSL VPN underscore pool. and we need to give it a net mask of 255.255.255.0. Done. And then we do the SVC, a split tunnel, and I want to include the ACL1. And remember, this is what is going to provide access to the access list one. If we do show IP access list one. Um, and actually, I forgot to remove it. Let's go ahead and do a no IP address or no access list one. I forgot to. Let's go ahead and just exit because this is from my previous um, configuration. So we're just going to go back to it in a little bit. And let's go ahead and do IP access list 1. And let's just go ahead and remove this. IP access list 1. Recognize. Or just do no IP access list. Let's just do access list 1 and let's just remove it. There we go. And now we can go ahead and go back into um, Vpn Context, and then we can go into um, policy group SSLV policy, and oh, actually, before we do that, we need to go ahead and configure that access list one more time. So if we do access list 1, and I want to just permit 192.168.1.0, which is access to this. So whenever we connect, the only way that we're going to have access to it is whenever we go to the inside network. Okay, that's what I'm telling right now. So let's go ahead and go back to web context, policy group SSL, and then let's just do let's just go ahead and add that access list, and it's going to be SVC split tunnel or split include ACL1. And what this is saying that whenever my computer, whenever it's connected to this server, and whenever this computer tries to go to 192.168.1.0 network, this one right here, it is going to send it via the tunnel. If it's going to another IP address, it's going to send that out another way. So it's not going to send all the traffic through the tunnel. Okay, done. And then we do SVC. If you want to do a DNS server, you can do that primary 8.8.8.8 for Google. And then we're going to do and then we go ahead and exit out of here. We're going to do the default group policy, and we're going to say that we're going to use the SSL policy that we just created, which is this one right here. Done. So we are done with this. We are done with the configuration. So now what we need to do is we need to go into my Windows device. So let's go into my Windows device, which I have right here. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go into this MD server, which is 20.1.1.1. And there we go. It's going to say that this site is not secure. That's fine. Let's go ahead and go into the page. There we go. So now we have access to the SSL VPN servers. And from over here, what we're going to do is if we do a show run, I forgot what the username that we gave. And the username, I remember the password, but I don't remember the username that we configure. It should be around here on the top. Did we configure a username and password? I thought we did. There we go. It's VPN user. Let's go ahead and do it right here. VPN user. And the password was Cisco, all in capital. Never save your password. There we go. So now we are inside this web VPN, and what we want to do is we want to get that tunnel connection with AnyConnect. So we're going to hit start, and it's going to open another website. We are going to click on details, go to the page anyways. And what we're going to do from right here is that we're going to download that AnyConnect Secure Mobility Client. And then we're going to download it. And after we download it, we are going to um, do a connection to this router right here. And it's going to allow me access to this network inside network. There we go. Let's go ahead and click right here. That's going to download that AnyConnect. What we want to do is we want to save it as to the desktop. It's going to download it from the server into my desktop. Let's give it, it says 24 seconds. So let's just wait 24 seconds. And after it is downloaded, we are going to install that AnyConnect Secure Mobility Client. And then we are going to connect um, or create that VPN tunnel using that AnyConnect. So let's give it a second. And also, if you want to do, let's go ahead and do some debug commands that I want to run. And the first one is going to be just debug. And we want to debug WebVPN AAA, and then debug WebVPN tunnel, debug WebVPN tunnel events, and WebVPN tunnel errors as well. You just want to turn all of them on. This is the download has finished, so let's go ahead and put it down, and here it is, the AnyConnect. So now we can also run anyways. We can also go ahead and close all this because we don't need it anymore. And close this one as well, or log out. Yes. And as you can see right here, it already sent me a debug message saying that the SSL VPN, the user VPN user has logged out of the gateway. So that's good. Let's go ahead and go back to my Windows device. Click next, accept the agreement, install it. Yes. Finish. Let's go ahead and see if it is right here. It is now right here. Let's go ahead and turn it on. AnyConnect the app. Here's the app running, and I want to connect to 20, that one, which is the IP address of the server right here, of the router. So it is contacting, connect anyways, and there we go. The username is VPN user, and the password is Cisco on capital, at least for me. I don't know for you guys. There we go, and you can see the authentication has passed for the user VPN. It logged in from my IP address, which is this IP address of the Windows device. If you do a CMD, do a IP config, you're going to see that that's my IP address. There we go. Okay, and let's go ahead and see right here. It is still establishing that VPN connection. It should work. And when we get that connection, we should get a show IP pool, show IP local pool. We should get an IP address from this range that we specify. So it is still trying to connect. It should connect. Not sure why it's taking so long. It's still trying to connect. Let's go ahead and do IP config. We still only got one IP address. Pool, we haven't assigned anything. Um, Let me go ahead and just pause this video. It's taking a little bit too long.